If you travel and seek adventure off-road, then you're probably familiar with the concept of airing up and down. It's not a difficult process, but it can be time-consuming. Today, we're going to take a look at the Faster Flate system, which is designed to make that process significantly faster and easier. And I got to admit, I came into this whole concept as a real skeptic. I looked and saw the different products, knew a lot of people that were using these things and said that they were great, but I just wasn't sure. Was it really worth the money? Was it really going to work the way that it seemed to? We'd bought several other products that were supposed to make this process faster and easier and did not. So, in this video, the main questions we're going to answer is it worth the money and does it work? Now, we're going to take a look at the Faster Flate company. We're going to take a look at the products that they offer. We're going to show you how it works. We're going to do a side-by-side comparison as far as airing up with and without the Faster Flate system. And then we're going to give you our thoughts as far as what we like and what we would like to see changed. If you're not already a subscriber to this channel, please go ahead and do so. It takes just a second. It's free to you, but it means a great deal to us, and it helps us continue to keep going. So with that said, let's get started. Faster Flate is a small business based right here in Florida. They've been around since September of 2020, and we've owned our system since April of 2021. We first met the owner and creator, Louis and Fuccia, at a local overlanding expo and loved what we saw and heard from him. We last saw Louis at the Save Expo in Stark, Florida in April of 2023, and we included him in our video for that event. If you've not already seen that video, we'll include a link in the description for this video. Louis created this system when he realized what a pain it was to air up and air down your tires individually. He built his own system, which was immediately snatched up by one of his buddies, and before he knew it, he had several others wanting him to build a system for them. Fast forward to now, and Faster Flate is a growing and thriving business based on quality products. Before we begin, let me show you the Faster Flate system that we use. We've had it for 2.5 years. We've used it dozens of times all over the country. Our system comes with the standard handheld manifold, 2 of the multi-tire hoses, an extra 10-foot hose to run to the onboard air, and the storage bag that keeps it all nice and tidy. Now, for the purpose of this video, we're going to air down to about 20 pounds. And we wanted to set this up just like it would be if you were out on the trail or at your campground. You're ready to air up, but the bag's still actually in the vehicle. So let's do that. Here we go. Need to get these valve stem covers off. I'm going to put the bag here. I'll tell you more about that later. All right, I got all 4 valve stems. I want to put them somewhere safe. Put them right there so I know where they're at. Now let's open up the kit. Manifold, spare tire. Connecting to the manifold is easy. It's literally a plug and play system. So one side goes in here, just like that. The other goes in here, just like that. All right, first line's connected there. I always make a habit of closing this valve so that I can tell when I'm setting up if I've made a mistake right off the bat. I always like to start with the passenger front tire. And the reason I do that is because I always put the manifold on the bumper here on the passenger front side. I do that because when I connect this line to this tire, if I've accidentally left that valve open, I'm going to hear it. Now, before I attach the hoses, I make sure that I've got both of the lines attached to the manifold and the manifold is closed. Since I've got that done, I can now attach the individual lines to the individual wheels. Let's start with this one first. These are the individual clamps that are going to go onto the valve stem. Notice they've got a little locking mechanism there. That is open. This slides onto the valve stem, then this closes up. Now that all of the lines are attached, the manifold has pressure, and when that happens, the monitor will come on. That's how you know that you've got pressurized lines. This will not come on until the lines are pressurized. Now, in order to air down, all I need to do is open up the valve. If I was going to air up, I would go ahead and connect my third line here, and I would run that to my onboard air. Now, talking about the manifold, I've been very happy with this. It's really been pretty accurate, and I've not had any issues with it. One thing I would say is that when you're done airing up or airing down, before you disconnect it, let it sit for a few minutes and let all of the tires equalize in their pressure. Now, one little nifty thing that I learned about this tire gauge is that if you press and hold the on button, you can see there's a little button there. And if I press and hold this down, it's a light. So if you were doing this at night and you needed a little bit of light, you could do that. You turn it on and off by the on button on the front of the device here. Press and hold it to turn it on, press and hold to turn it off. All right, guys, and when you're done, it all goes right back into the case just like that, nice and neat, and it goes right back in your Jeep and you're ready to go on down the road. All right, well, if you're like us, you want to know if a particular product is going to work. And more than that, you want to know how well it's going to work. Well, the best way to really show you that with the Faster Flate system is to just do a side-by-side comparison. So what we're going to do is we're going to air down and air back up twice. We're going to just start with the traditional method and go tire by tire and air down and time that. Then we'll air back up tire by tire and see how long that takes. The tire pressures are all at about 35 pounds. So once we get it aired back up, we're going to go right back to 35 pounds so that when we break out the Faster Flate system, we start from the same place. We want this to be as fair of a comparison as possible. We're going to use the exact same air system. Now, you guys recognize that this is not the same Jeep that we started out with, right? Our black Wrangler was totaled when Tiffany was doing her girls only overlanding series. She had a broken stern. She was really messed up, guys, but the Jeep was totaled in the process. If you want to know more about that story, watch episode 5 of our girls only overlanding series. In the meantime, we've got this gray Gladiator that we're starting to build out. We're calling it Heimdall, and we're going to be doing a lot to it, but one of the things that we are doing but have not yet done is put the onboard air on. So we're just going to be using a standalone Craftsman air compressor that we have here for just regular garage use and things like that. And we'll use that as our standard air for both airing up individually and airing up and down with the Faster Flate system. All right, well, as soon as I started airing down, I was immediately reminded just how bad it sucks doing this one tire at a time, especially if you're just doing like I was and just squatting down. After I got that first tire done, I immediately went and got a chair so I could at least sit down and do that. Now, overall, this process took me 18 minutes and 34 seconds to air down all 4 tires manually, one at a time. And that's about right. Just going from memory, I seem to remember that it'd take me about 20 minutes to air down on my own. And so that's really going to be the goal here, is to see whether or not the Faster Flate system is going to air down in less than 18 minutes and 34 seconds. Now, to try to just keep things even and fair, what I'm going to do is I'll bring the Faster Flate system out, set it out on a bumper, and include in the time that I'm using here the amount of time it takes it to just bring out the hoses, connect them to the tires, and air up all together as one piece. But for right now, we just need to get The individual tires aired back up, and so let's go ahead and get that part done. All right, so we got all four of them aired back up manually, one at a time. Total time 11 minutes, 45 seconds. And honestly, I'm pretty happy with that. I remember the first time that we aired up and aired down manually was when we went on our road trip to Windrock. And I had one of those little small portable compressors you plug into the cigarette lighter. It took me 38 minutes to air up using that little guy. And oh my gosh, I actually didn't even fully air up. I'd brought it up from about 20 pounds up to about 30 pounds and called it close enough because at 38 minutes, I was just done. So to get this done, all four tires in 11 minutes, 45 seconds, that's because I'm using this air compressor here. Obviously, times are going to vary depending on what your air source is. So 11:45 is the time for the individual air ups. Now let's break out the Faster Flate system and see what we get. All right, well, it took me right at 2 minutes to get all the lines hooked up, and so we're ready to start this. Now let's take a look and see. I've got the gauge showing here at 35.7. That's what we'll start with. So in order to air down, you do all four tires at the same time. All I need to do is open the valve. All right, let's see how we're doing. Now this will say 39, but you really have to turn the valve in order to get a good. And there we are at 36.1. Again, that's going to adjust here. I need to give it a few minutes to level out, see how it's coming down, 36. But still, this is at 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Boom. That's a pretty big difference right there. All right, let's talk about how the system performed. Now, airing down each tire individually took 18 minutes and 34 seconds. When comparing to the Faster Flate, we're going to add 2 minutes to include time to set the system up, assuming that you're going to have to set the system up to air down, right? So as opposed to the 18 minutes and 34 seconds, we'll subtract out 2 minutes for setting up the Faster Flate and another 3 minutes and 15 seconds that it actually took us to air down. That leaves a 13-minute and 19-second difference. In other words, airing down with the Faster Flate was 13 minutes faster than it was airing down individually. On the flip side, airing up, it took 11 minutes and 45 seconds to air up each tire individually. Subtract out of that 2 minutes for Faster Flate hookup and the 3:45 that it took to actually air up the tires, and you're looking at 6 minutes worth of difference. So 11:45 to air them up individually, a 6-minute difference between individually and using the Faster Flate system. All right, guys. Well, that's the Faster Flate system. Now let's go back to those questions that we asked up front. Number one, does the system work? Well, in our opinion, yes, it works, and it works very, very well. We've taken this system all across the country. We've used it dozens of times in dozens of different weather conditions and terrains and night and day, and you name it, we've tried it. It's worked flawlessly every time. Number two, is it worth the money? We paid $200 for our system. That's about what they cost today. There is a way to save 10% on that. We'll mention that in a moment. But for $200, if it's saving us roughly 20 minutes every time we air up and down, that's a very big benefit for us. Absolutely, it's worth it. Especially when you take into consideration how many times we air up and air down. Number three, what is it that we like about the system? Well, we like that it's compact, it's easy to get in and out of the bag, it's quick and easy to use. We can get it in and out of the Jeep very quickly and easily. When we need it, we can grab it and go very quickly without problem. Number four, what would we like to see changed? Well, two things we'd like to see changed. Number one, you notice that we had Velcro straps on our system. We use those to keep those three different lines separate. That makes it easier for us to get them in and out of the bag without them getting jumbled up together. We'd like to see FasterFlate at some point offer that as just part of the standard package. The other is something that I don't really know is available yet, and that would be a programmable manifold. We'd like to be able to hook up the lines and say, hey, manifold, take us from 35 to 15 pounds, push the button, and it just do it. I don't know that that's even available today, but it is something that we'd really like to see in the future. So hopefully in future models, that'll be available and we can get that on our Faster Flate system. Aside from all of that, we think the system works great. We're very happy with it. We're very happy with the company. As a result of all of that, we've done something unusual for us, and we've actually formed an affiliate relationship with Faster Flate. You guys know we don't do a whole lot of this, but we're very pleased with them. We're very pleased with the product. And so we've gone ahead and formed that relationship. Now, that means for you that you can save 10% when you buy from Faster Flate by using the code BESTLIFE at checkout. When you go to checkout, there'll be a place for a code. Put in BESTLIFE, and you can save 10% off of your system. That's a great way for you to help our channel. It's also a great way to save yourself 10% on a great product. Now, we want to hear from you guys. What do you think about Faster Flate? Do you have a Faster Flate system, or do you use something else? Let us know in the comments. If you think that there's a better system out there, something that works better than the Faster Flate system, tell us in the comments what you think that is. Also, before you head out, please subscribe if you've not already done so. It's free for you guys. It's easy to do. Just click that subscribe button, but it means a great deal to us, and we greatly, greatly appreciate all the love and support that you guys continue to send our way. So with that said, thank you for watching this video. We hope to see you back here soon on the Best Life Adventure channel.